Here in part 4, let's focus on desert biomes and climatic conditions in the desert biomes of Western North America, our part of the world. Deserts occur wherever we have that descending air, approximately 30 degrees north and approximately 30 degrees south of the equator. So we have a series of deserts in North and South America, across Africa, Eurasia, and Australia. If I was to describe it generally, I would say precipitation is generally between 200 to 400 millimeters in our deserts, but it can be as low as 25 to 30 millimeters when we get down to the Dead Sea in Israel or into the drier parts of Death Valley in California. Within Western North American deserts, we have a couple of very distinct deserts. We live in the Great Basin Desert. Sometimes this is divided into the Great Basin and Colorado Plateau, but in this graphic, it's all listed as the Great Basin Desert. This is a high elevation desert. That is, it's an elevation of 1,000 meters or higher. If we go down to a much lower elevation, we find the Mojave Desert or the Sonoran Desert, which is Arizona, state of Sonora, and Baja California. And then we'll find a fourth desert, the Chihuahuan Desert, in central Mexico and New Mexico and western Texas. These deserts differ both in the seasonality of precipitation and the temperature during winter. Those are the defining characteristics. The Sonoran Desert here is a desert in which we find both winter precipitation from storms generated in the Gulf of Alaska and summer monsoonal systems where moisture comes from the eastern Pacific. If you find cacti, especially large cacti in the desert, you can be rest assured that it is a part of the world that gets summer precipitation. Large cacti do not occur, in general, cacti do not occur in regions that don't get at least some summer precipitation. The Sonoran Desert is a warm desert because it is sufficiently warm during the winter months when winter rains come for plants to be able to grow. The Chihuahuan Desert is a warm desert, but it is a summer rain only desert, whereas the Sonoran Desert can have winter and summer rain. The Chihuahuan Desert only has summer rains. Here you see it in southern New Mexico, West Texas, and the northern part of Mexico. The Mojave Desert, right here, is a winter-only desert. It does not get summer rain, and because it's a lower elevation desert, plants can grow in the winter and spring. In contrast, the Great Basin Desert is a cold desert. In the winter, we get both rain and snow, but the soil temperatures and air temperatures are sufficiently low that plants don't grow in the winter. So the difference between a warm and a cold desert is not the temperature in the summer, it's the temperature in the winter, and can plants grow or not grow during winter months. Here in the Great Basin, as you know, we see in winter we see very little growth, but most of the growth occurs in spring and early summer. Here we would be asking you a clicker question on where we get primarily or only winter precipitation. It would be the Great Basin and Mojave deserts. If we ask the question of where do we get summer precipitation, it would be the Chihuahuan and Sonoran deserts.